Hey, thanks for taking another look at Bartok. Gonna walk through really quickly, try to keep this to 5 minutes. This is Bartok v0.31. Last release was v0.3, and we'll go into why that is 3.1 instead of 4, like it says down in the bottom left-hand corner if you have really good eyes. So let's go through a preview. Yeah, let's just talk about previews. All right. So there is a new preview. You're looking at it right now. Previously, we had a terminal here. Now you can go into a preview. What we're previewing here is a markdown file. I'm going to scroll that out of view. And next summary item, templates. What you're looking at right now is enabled by templates. It's the reason why you're able to preview a markdown file is because templates are there, and we'll go through an example of one of those. There are some service map improvements on this release and some bug fixes. And without going too much further, I'm going to talk about some thoughts that I had while I was developing this. Okay, so now we get into the why v0.31 instead of v0.4. Well, I usually plan out what I'm going to put into a release, and I have a sort of list of kind of all the things I'd like to see go into any given release, and I try to chunk them up into, hey, this is what I'm doing for the next release. And I pretty much painted myself in the corner. I looked at v4 and I realized, man, I just don't really feel like doing this. Okay, and then similar, will I ever focus more on the server? I want to, and that's the reason why I'm asking this question. But I just have too many things on the UI that I would like to mess around with first, and I think that some of those things on the UI pretty much educate what's going to happen on the server. The server's there. Maybe people wouldn't want to first get into the server. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of bang for the buck over here doing previews and stuff like that. So current state, I'm going to breeze through this really quickly. What I call the meta, the stuff that I couldn't fit into other categories. I redid the context menus. I'm not going to show what used to be there, but if we bring up the Explorer here, now when you right click on one of these, you get like a fairly Mac looking context menu. Right now the only thing that works is new file, and this looks just like VS Code. And so you can do a new file, and then that file will be there for you to do something with. And I don't have those context menus anywhere else, but for right now, it's no big deal. Cool. So what do I have other going on? So there's context menus. Cool. And then scroll bars look a little bit better. If you look really close, you can kind of see in this area right here, scroll bars are better. I imagine there's more work to be done going forward, but whatever. Also did some kind of like over scroll kind of stuff on the editor, but nothing worth mentioning too much. So scroll bars look better. File templates can be written from the UI. What that looks like is you can go over to the Explorer, create a dot templates. I'll probably start including these by default. Click on Markdown, and now you're looking at pretty much an HTML file that lets you make a template. And essentially what a template is this right here. This thing that says Markdown. Basically, whenever you have a Markdown file, it gets popped into there. All this other stuff is some other markdown, or it's a markdown parser just going through and parsing through and turning that into HTML, in which gets put into an iframe, which is what you're looking at over on the right side. I really don't want to share all of that with everybody unless they're like super interested, so whatever. Okay, but file templates, and I've got to figure out somehow how to sell that to people in the future. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. Maybe I don't have to sell it to people. There were a bunch of bugs that were fixed, and hopefully I can breeze through these pretty quickly. The editor doesn't change when you're loading a new service. That's another feature that I'm not sure that everyone will want to do something with, but if you go over to the terminal and do a read, you get to see all the services that are running. And whenever you switch from one of these services by doing like a read 86 or read 999, calling the ID out. Whenever you switched, these previously open files wouldn't go away. And yeah, so I think I handled most of that stuff. And then there was a weird bug when saving. Sometimes the file wouldn't get saved as itself, and instead it was being saved as a default file, which basically overwrote the default file. Yay, this is stuff people don't care about, but fix that. They would care about it if they used it and they're like, oh, this sucks. Okay, so deleting a file act weird and sometime didn't work. I took care of that. A lot of these kind of things are things that caused me to not want to do a v0.4, but I did bring a few of those in there. I already went through, for the Explorer, I went through better context menus, some file of operations available. I think there's add file and delete file. Let's just go through and demo that deleting file. Oh, I don't like this VS Code file anymore. I'm going to right click it and delete it. Okay, it's gone, but did it close out the tab? No. Okay, there's stuff to be done in the future. Okay, cool. And then the terminal, which I should probably start calling this something different now. The terminal now has a preview over on the top right. You can go from terminal to preview. So you can go through and you can make a template that will allow you to have a preview for whatever kind of thing. I'm going to go through some of the other things that can be previewed. HTML, Java, JSX, SVG, all those things are kind of hard-coded. I didn't actually write those into a template for this release. And then Markdown, there's a template for that. I'm going to, I think as part of the release, like start including some of these templates as default files. Yeah, so let me go through real quick and just show, actually at the end of the demo, or at the end I'll do a demo on this, and I'll show the what it looks like to do React and maybe some of the other hard-coded templates I have. Service map. There are actual system services in the service map. I think what that means is there used to be UI services only here, and switching between that was a little weird. I'm not 100% certain, but now these are actually the services that you would pull up if you did a terminal. If you did this, these right here, and that's what I mentioned earlier. At some point, I'm gonna have to figure out a better way of kind of like selling some of these things. That's one of the things, and I think the service map is the way of doing that. Basically, just pulling everything into a grid. I don't know whenever I share this with people in real life if part of the reason why they don't get connected to it is not like fully blown yet. I don't know if they are connecting to it. I'm showing on YouTube that I get a drop off around 3 minutes on average. I don't know if that means that people are connecting or not. I could really use some feedback, but yeah, maybe I'll just start doing clickbaity kind of titles that are kind of like learn to do React easily and quickly, or something along those lines. And maybe I'll start sharing this. I guess it just depends on like what kind of feedback I'm looking for. So anyways, there's actual system services in the service map. And the service map, you can switch back and forth. I pretty much just showed that between UI and system services. And did I do anything with the editor, the pane view, the server, the status bar? You can still see down here line XXXX, column XXX, tab side. No, I didn't update those. Editor, pretty much the same. Server still pretty much the same. Minus doing little tweaks or whatever, I don't know. So pretty much that's it. I'm gonna go through real quick and show a demo of some of these things. I have another service over here that has files in it. I think it's called local storage, and I'm going to show some of these like examples. Right away React pops up, and again I'm probably going to include some of these examples on the default version of the site, but for right now they're not there. They're just on my local. So here's a preview. One of the things I didn't mention in this is this little lock icon. It pretty much makes the thing that you're working on kind of stick to the right there. If you take it off, now you get a React app. And with this React app, I can go through and look at the items that I've clicked, done. To-do app is pretty much like the regular, like hello world for a given app or whatever. But here's React. You have an app, and it's referencing these header, the body, these other little components. And the way that I've tried to put this together with this particular template is I want people to be able to just do React without having to have a server, without having to do transpiling, without having to do imports, all of this other stuff. You just start out and just start doing React. And like I said earlier, clickbaity title, look for it. I'm going to start doing how to do React an easy way, and hopefully people that are wanting to learn React will like come in and they'll start getting curious. And okay, cool. I mentioned earlier that you can do SVGs. There's an SVG. That's a classic SVG that I think I first saw in Corel Draw or something like that. I'm not really sure. And then here's doing HTML with this reveal. It's a slideshow, and you're going to see, I think, some efforts at me popping Markdown into a slideshow. This is basically just yeah, it's a mixture of different releases. And this was me trying to go through and figure out how I was going to highlight each of these items. That's one example. Here's another one. It looks the same, but I think maybe we're getting, nope, we don't get transitions on that one. Anyways, another SVG. I'll come back to the other whenever I find reveal. The one that I'm looking for has cool transitions. Yeah, there you go. Cool. Yeah, reveal gives you this really cool transition thing, and these pictures kind of show off the preview. So this is one of the things I thought about originally, just popping into the demo, and so here it is. Classic animated GIF there. Wanted to mention this this art breeder. It's awesome. Check out some of the cool stuff. It's just like wow. I mean, like, what is this? I love it. It's like Deep Dream, but done like, split up into little bits. Or it's a cool fish kind of weird thing or whatever. And then it's coronavirus. It's got the plague doctor. I think that's pretty cool too. Thank you very much for taking your time out to look at Bartok v0.31.